people are looking for like this magic answer or this instant gratification or whatever it is give me the $5,000 handgun. That's the one that'll make me the better shooter, as an example, right?
Always.
Right. It's always the case. It's the equipment, it's the gear or whatever that makes me better at this, versus understanding that it's the inputs that you're putting into whatever it is that you have, whether that's on the platform doing a deadlift or, behind the handgun in your dry fire or whatever the case in business. In a product design, it's making this little adjustment here that then over time adds up to all these other things that you can then look back on. But if all you've been focused on is that little failure, and that's what you're programming in your brain, rather than looking at it like a success, if that's the way we kind of want to boil it all down to, then and that's where your focus. Well, that's the majority of your time is going to be spent. And going back to like what you're good at and some things and what you're not good at the other things. I bet if you're not good at those things, it's because, again, like, oh, I got to do that dry fire shit again. Which the results you are not getting, as I've heard so many people say, I don't know who. If I knew exactly who invented this, I would quote them. But your results that you're not getting are directly related to the work that you're not putting into it. So, again, just going back. And so like, if you decide like I suck today, so I'm just not going to do the work, well, then you should expect to continue to suck at whatever that thing is. It doesn't mean you suck, but it means you're going to suck at that thing.
I think if you're having, days where, hey, it's not clicking, it's not going well, now you have the best condition for growth.
Yeah.
Right? Because now the work of training completely changes. Now you have to perform. Right? You understand what you're capable of doing, whether you're performing at 60% of your, what you would perceive as a good level, 80%, and it's just not clicking. Now you have conditions that would, from a shooting standpoint, might mimic more of a reality, right? You have to perform. So maybe if you're constrained by resources and you have 200 rounds and it's not clicking, yeah, I wouldn't recommend we'll just eat all those 200 rounds. Yeah. But I would say stay there for a third of it and see what you can get when the conditions are not in your favor.
And reevaluate.
It's easy for everyone to succeed when everything's perfect and you feel great, right? But the days that I wake up and I know, hey, I gotta put this weight vest on, I've got to go for a walk, I need to do this before my kids get up for the bus. And the last thing I want to do is I want to go have a cup of coffee and answer DMs. That's what I love to do.
That's the other nightmare.
Yeah, but doing it, fighting through that, like that is growth to me.
Yeah, I love that. Like the failure presents the perfect environment for that growth. And again, so that goes back to the mindset. And then where does the grit fit into that? It depends, as they say, I think, on who the person is, what it is you're practicing, but really what you're committed to actually getting accomplished and what you believe you can actually do. Again, there's an underlying theme, again, I think, with what's happening here at the summit and those growth opportunities that you're seeing people take. And I'm watching, like, not one time, and this is not embellishing it, not one time that I see anybody today, like, get visibly frustrated. Not with anything. I saw a lot of people being challenged and really struggling with whatever the concept was or the technique was or whatever else. And part of that was the environment that they were in. So I think that's the next piece, is like the environments. Like, what are those conditions within the environment? Who are you surrounding yourself by? Who are you training with that helps you get there? And you very well could be in the wrong room for that, because all the conditions could be really well set up for you in terms of failure and success and whatever. But if you're in the room with the wrong people, and that could be, no matter how bad a day you have, you're still the best shooter in the room, or you're still the best black belt in the room, or whatever else.
You're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong fucking room. You're in the wrong fucking.
You got to find a different room.
You need to find a new room.
Yeah.
You absolutely need to find a new room. And so that obviously people found that here, and that's why they come here. They know they need to be in the different room. And I think that's the interesting part about, like, people that have reached levels at business, production of products, shooting, combatives, whatever else. They are constantly seeking that new room. So going back again to mindset and ego and the grit and whatever else, they are here for that and that alone. And I don't know if you can program that into somebody. I really don't. I think it's a unique group of individuals that kind of come together in these spaces to do this. And not everybody is that guy. I'm not saying everybody here is that guy. I don't know. But my observations, again, kind of studying what I'm seeing and hearing and sort of taking in there's a lot of stuff going on, right? I'm trying to take things in, and, you know, dudes are touching other dudes, and how are they doing that, and what level of comfort do they have? They're all trying to find that space in the room that's the right place and time for them to be to accept that growth opportunity. So I don't know, it's an interesting conversation and a really good question that you posed there.
I think one of the, maybe why you see that here is because I think jiu-jitsu is a microcosm of all of those things.
Oh, that's probably a really good point.
Yeah. So then one of the weird things about, and I have a little bit of experience, not a ton, but you can have somebody who totally understands that and applies that on the mat in their jiu-jitsu, but is a total loser in the rest of their life.
They don't know how to understand.
It's just a thing.
They don't know
but then you also have people who apply it on the mat and understand it on the mat and learn it on the mat, and then are able to apply that. And whether they're bringing that to their jiu-jitsu or whether they're taking that from jiu-jitsu and applying it other places, I don't know. But there is an element of, like, you have to have a certain self-image if you're going to win this contest between two people, right? But you also, everybody who does jiu-jitsu is humbled at some point.
Oh, 100%.
Right? So that is a somewhat unique compared to most other sports, where it's like, and the humbling takes place daily, right? Versus other sports, you could go weeks or months without experiencing that same level of humility, just because of the nature of the contest, and also the grit of you have micro losses all the time, right? Because it is about the strategy of positioning yourself to try to take advantage, and you're constantly winning and losing in the moment while you're grappling with somebody, right? And so all of those things are like microcosms of all the other stuff we're talking about, and it translates, I think, really well.